What if I told you that the AI assistant you're using right now is basically a Swiss Army knife, and you're only using like one blade out of 25? Most people, they're only tapping into maybe 10% of what ChatGPT can actually do. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. I'm going to show you some wild features that completely change how you work, create, and solve problems. Let's go. Hey, by the way, I'm Jake Dawson, and for the past 2 years, I've been deep in the trenches with AI, pushing ChatGPT way past what you see in the typical tutorials. I've used these hidden features to launch my own business and save crazy amounts of time doing it. In today's video, I'm going to show you 25 insanely powerful ChatGPT tricks that most people don't even know exist. Doesn't matter if you're a student, a business owner, a creative type, or just curious about AI. Once you see what this thing can actually do, it's going to completely change how you use it. And don't worry, I'm not just going to list a bunch of features and leave you hanging. I'm showing you real examples you can steal and start using today. Oh, and a quick heads up, if you want all the prompts I'm using in this video, you can grab them inside my school community. They're all ready for you to download and start using right away. All right, let's dive in. Most people still think of ChatGPT as some fancy chatbot that just spits out answers or writes essays. You type in a prompt, it gives you some text. Game over. The average user, they're asking stuff like, what's the capital of France? Or write me a birthday card. And that's it. Honestly, it's not their fault. When ChatGPT first blew up, it was sold as a replacement for Google, or just a way to help you write faster. The media hyped it up for basic stuff, and even today, most YouTube tutorials barely scratch the surface. Think about the last time you used ChatGPT. Did you just ask it a question and get an answer and then bounce? If you're like most people, that's probably exactly what happened, without even realizing that you've got an entire powerhouse of tools sitting right in front of you. But the truth that most people miss, ChatGPT isn't just some basic text generator anymore. It's leveled up, big time. With the latest versions like GPT-04 and 03, it's basically a full-on multi-model assistant now. It can plug into other tools, crunch crazy amounts of data, build custom code, write structured document. Heck, it can even help you make music or scripts. It's not just a chatbot anymore. It's way more. Helping you work faster, think bigger, and create on a whole different level. Quick example. Last month, I had this complex data set I needed to break down for a client presentation. Normally, that would have meant days of learning some specialized software just to get through it. But instead, I tossed it into ChatGPT, cleaned the data, found patterns, built out visualizations, all in just a few hours. And the client, absolutely blown away. What would have taken me a full week, done before dinner. The reality is ChatGPT today is like having an entire suite of pro-level software at your fingertips, stuff that would easily cost you thousands of dollars if you had bought it all separately. All right, now let's get into the real power moves that you probably haven't been using yet. First up, advanced voice conversation. Most people think ChatGPT's voice mode is just some basic speech to text, but it's way deeper than that. It's like having a real conversation with an AI that sounds crazy natural. All you have to do is open ChatGPT, hit that little headphone icon at the bottom, give it mic access if it asks, pick a voice that you like. There's Sky, Breeze, Ember, Juniper, Cove, and start talking. When you're done, just tap stop. And if you want to tweak how it sounds, you can customize it under settings by choosing different voices that match your vibe. I usually roll with Sky, but honestly, at this point, they all sound pretty human. Next up, scheduled tasks. This one's a game changer. ChatGPT can actually create and run automated tasks for you on a schedule, even if you're not around. Here's how it works. Switch to GPT-04 Mini, click your profile picture, tasks, and then just tell it what you want, like send me a daily news summary. When it offers to set it up, click schedule this task. Write how often you want it, one time, daily, weekly, whenever. Pick your time, choose if you want a push notification, and boom, done. Pro tip, you can get fancy with it too, like setting something for every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m., or even the first Monday of each month. Crazy useful for staying on top of stuff without lifting a finger. Then we've got custom instructions. This is where you can basically teach ChatGPT how you want it to talk to you permanently. You log in, click on your little profile picture, then hit settings, then personalization, then click on custom instructions. Here you'll see a few options where you tell it about yourself and what you like. Another where you tell it exactly how you want it to respond. Like you could say, always explain things to me like I'm brand new to the topic, or always use bullet points when giving me steps. Save it, and then from then on, every chat you will have will feel way more tailored to you. No need to repeat yourself every time. All right, now we're getting spicy. Data analysis and visualization. You don't need fancy tools like Tableau or Power BI anymore. Instead, inside ChatGPT, switch to GPT-04 Mini High. With data analysis, use the little plus icon and click on this to upload a file from your computer, say a CSVs, Excel sheets, whatever you got. And once it's uploaded, just ask it questions like, what trend do you see in this data? Or can you make me a bar chart showing sales by region? It'll not only answer you, but it can spit out charts, graphs, even Python code if you want it to customize it later. I recommend asking for different chart types too, like a heat map or a scatter plot to see different angles on what you might miss otherwise. And let's talk about another great feature here, the advanced memory. This is a huge one. ChatGPT can now actually remember details about you between chats. You just have to click on your profile icon, go to settings, under personalization, and turn on memory. Once it's on, you can literally tell it, hey, remember that I'm a graphic designer, or remember that I prefer short and clear answers with examples. And the best part, you can check what it remembers by asking, what do you remember about me? At any time in a chat. If you ever want to update or delete something, just go to the memory settings and click on Manage Memories to see what's stored. I love using this for ongoing projects or learning something new. It's like having a personal assistant who never forgets the important stuff. Now, let's keep rolling with another absolute monster of a feature, the code interpreter, sometimes called advanced data analysis, depending on where you're seeing it. This basically lets ChatGPT not just write code, but actually run it, debug it, and solve some seriously complex problems for you. Setting it up is easy. When you open ChatGPT, click on the model selector and make sure you're using GPT-04 Mini High. Once you've got that, you just describe the task you need help with. Like you can say, hey, write me a Python script that organizes this Excel sheet by month and total sales. If you have data files, click on the plus icon and upload them so ChatGPT can actually work with your real data. It'll write the code, run it, and give you the output right there inside the chat. If you want, you can also ask it to explain the code, what it's doing line by line, or ask it to optimize it to run faster. And if you need the final file, like a CSV or a graph it generated, there will be a little download button for you to grab it straight from the chat. Absolute time saver. Now, here's where things get even crazier. Web browsing capabilities. ChatGPT can actually browse the internet in real time now to find the latest info for you. To use it, make sure you pick a GPT-4o. It usually says it right there when you pick your model. Once you're in, just type your question like normal, but ask for something current, like what are the top AI startups that raised funding this month? And click on the search button. ChatGPT will tell you it's browsing the web and you'll see it pulling live data. Give it a second, it's out there hunting, and then it'll come back with a full answer, including links to the sources it found. You can even click those links and double check the info if you want. And if you want to get even smarter with it, you can tell it to pull from specific places or date ranges, like find articles about climate change from the past 30 days or from science journals only. Super useful when you need the freshest info on anything. All right, moving on. PDF and document analysis. This one is such a life hack, it's not even funny. You know how normally you have to read through 100-page reports and try to find that one stat that you need? Yeah, not anymore. Here's how you do it. When you're in ChatGPT, just click the plus icon like you're about to send an attachment, upload the PDF or whatever document you need to look at. It can be a PDF, a PowerPoint, even Word docs. Once it's uploaded, you can ask super direct questions like, what are the main findings from this research paper? Or summarize the key points from pages 45 to 60. If you upload multiple documents, be specific about which one you're asking about. And if you need to pull any of the data or text that ChatGPT extracts, you'll usually get a download button too. Oh, bonus move. You can ask it to compare documents, like tell me the main differences between these two contracts, and it will line them up side by side. Huge time saver. Now, let's talk about image analysis and generation because, yeah, ChatGPT can work with pictures too. If you wanted to analyze an image, it's simple. Click the plus icon, upload your image, and then ask whatever you want. But here's the key. Be specific. Instead of just saying, what do you see? Say, can you explain the key elements in this engineering diagram? Or summarize the data shown in this chart. That way you get better answers. And if you want to generate an image instead, like creating a picture from scratch, for example, you can use GPT native integration with DALL-E. Just type out a detailed description like, create a futuristic city skyline at sunset with flying cars in a colorful style. The more detailed you are with the style, mood, the colors, and the vibe that you want, the better results you're going to get. And if the first version isn't perfect, you can ask it to tweak little things like make the colors more vibrant or add more buildings in the background. It's literally like having a designer on standby. And finally, one of my personal favorites, building your own custom GPTs. Yup, you can literally create a specialized version of ChatGPT that's built exactly for what you need. Here's how you do it. Open ChatGPT and look at the sidebar. You'll see an Explore GPTs section. Click it and then hit the Create button to create a GPT. It'll open up a super easy conversation builder. You'll describe what you want your GPT to do, like I want a fitness coach that specializes in strength training for busy people. And then you'll go through a guided setup where you'll tell it what tools, knowledge, and style it should have. You can test it right away by asking it sample questions to see how it behaves. If something's off, you can tweak it before you're done. Once you're happy with it, you'll choose if you want it public for everyone to use or private just for you. You can even give it a custom name and upload a little profile picture. And here's a pro tip. Really push your GPT by testing weird edge cases. That's how you make sure it's bulletproof before you start relying on it. Now, if you're someone who writes a lot, or honestly, even if you just occasionally have to crank out something professional, you're going to love this one. Advanced Writing Assistance. ChatGPT isn't just for brainstorming ideas or fixing typos. It can actually act like a real writing partner that helps you nail structure, sharpen your style, and make sure your writing is way more clear. And here's how you tap into it. First, tell it exactly what kind of project you're working on. Like, I'm writing an article about remote work trends, or I'm drafting a report for investors. Then define your audience and your goal. Like, this is for a casual blog, or this is a formal report for executives. If you need help getting started, just say something like create an outline for topic with a number of main sections. Once you like the structure, you can say draft the first section or write the full first draft. If you already have something written, you can paste it in and say, edit this to make it more engaging or improve clarity and flow. You can even ask it to rewrite stuff in different styles, like rewrite this in a more persuasive tone or make this sound more technical. And if you want to level up even faster, ask for direct feedback, like, what can I do to improve upon this introduction? It's like having a writing coach on call 24/7. Now, let's switch gears. Language conversion and translation. Most people don't realize ChatGPT isn't just running basic word-for-word translations like Google Translate. It actually understands context, tone, and meaning, which is huge if you're trying to sound professional, respectful, or culturally correct. To use it, just type something like, translate the following to target language, and paste the text that you want. If the context matters, which usually it does, like it's a business email or a casual message, tell it up front so it can adjust the tone. If you want to double check that it's truly getting the nuances right, ask it to explain any idioms or expressions it used. For language learners, here's a pro move. Ask ChatGPT to give you a literal translation and a natural translation side by side so you can see how the language actually flows. You can also ask for pronunciation help. Just type, how do I pronounce this in this language? And even dive into cultural stuff like, are there any cultural differences I should know when using this phrase? It's insanely powerful if you're working internationally or learning a new language. All right, here's one of my personal secret weapons: role-playing for problem solving. ChatGPT can act like almost any expert you need. Setting this up is easy. You just type, I want to act as insert expert here, like a psychologist, marketing strategist, startup advisor, whatever you need. Then explain your situation or problem and ask for advice. It'll give you responses in character based on that expert's perspective. If you want multiple opinions, you can even say, now act as a different expert and give me a second opinion. You can compare the two and dig deeper by asking follow-up questions inside the same simulation. And when you're done, just say, return to your normal ChatGPT role. That resets everything. Want to take it up another level? You can have it simulate an entire conversation or even a debate between two experts with different perspectives using its voice feature, like show a debate between a psychologist and an economist about the future of remote work. It's honestly one of the fastest ways to get out of your own head and see the problem from every angle possible. Next, third-party integrations. This is where ChatGPT stops being just a chat window and turns into an actual portal to outside tools. Using plugins, you can have ChatGPT pull in live info, book reservations, summarize research paper, do math with Wolfram Alpha. It's wild. Here's how you set it up. First, pick the GPT-4o model, then look for the Explore GPTs button on the left sidebar. Browse through the plugin store and you'll find tons of them. And pick the ones you want to use. Save your selections. Now, when you start a conversation, ChatGPT will automatically use those plugins behind the scenes when needed. It'll even cite where it's pulling info from so you can double check it. Pro tip, stack multiple plugins together in a single session. For example, you could have it use a research plugin to gather data, then a chart plugin to visualize that data, all without leaving the chat. Total game changer for workflows. Now let's talk about interactive math problem solving. If you ever struggled with math growing up, or even now, like me, this will blow your mind. ChatGPT can solve super complex math problems step by step, showing you every single move. To use it, create a new chat and choose the 4o Mini High model from the dropdown. Then just type out your problem or paste it in and say, please solve this step by step. If you want even more help, you can say include a visual explanation and it'll create graphs, diagrams, whatever you need to make it. So if you're trying to learn a concept that's deeper, you can also say, explain the underlying concept behind this topic. And if you want to practice, ask it to generate similar problems at a certain difficulty level so you can keep building your skills without hunting down worksheets. You can even request alternative solutions by saying, is there another way to solve this? And for graph plotting, you can be super specific, like plot the function for this formula, and it will generate a clear graph for you instantly. Honestly, it's like having a personal tutor on demand. No judgment, no pressure. All right, next, let's talk about something that'll hit home for a lot of people. Personal fitness and nutrition planning. ChatGPT can actually create full-on, customized workout routines and meal plans just for you. And here's how you unlock it. Start by giving it your basic info, age, weight, height, gender, just like you would if you were talking to a real trainer. Then tell it your fitness goal, like I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to gain muscle. If you have gym equipment at home, let it know what you have, or if you want to strictly do body weight exercises, mention that too. For meal plans, make sure you share any dietary restrictions, like I'm a vegetarian or I'm avoiding gluten. Also, let it know how much time you realistically have each day for workouts and meal prep, because that matters too, right? Once you give it all that, ask it for something structured, like create a 4-week fitness plan or give me a weekly meal prep guide. The best part? If something feels off or too intense, you can just say, make this a little easier, or adjust it to 3 days a week instead of 5 days, and it'll tweak everything for you right away. If you travel or your schedule changes, you can even ask it for backup plans based on time or equipment that's available. So you stay consistent without stressing. All right, now if your inbox is looking like a battlefield, this next one is for you. Email and communication management. ChatGPT can help you draft, clean up, and sharpen all kinds of professional communication. To make the most out of it, start by telling it exactly what you need, like, I need a follow-up email for a sales lead I met at a conference. Give a little background about who you're talking to and what your relationship is. Then tell it the tone you want to hit. Formal, friendly, assertive, casual, whatever fits. Include any important points that you want to make and just make sure you got those covered. Then you ask it to draft a message. Once it spits out a version, you can tweak it by saying, make it more persuasive or tone it down a little. Make it less salesy. If you're not sure which way you want to go, you can even say, give me 3 versions with different tones and pick the one that just fits best for you. It's like having a professional copywriter on call 24/7 without the invoice. Speaking of prepping, let's get into interview preparation. This is easily one of my favorite use cases if you're trying to land a new job or just sharpen your skills. Setting this up is simple. First, tell ChatGPT what role you're interviewing for. Like, I'm applying for a marketing manager position at X tech company. Then give it a little background about yourself, your experience, your skills, anything that'll help it simulate realistic questions. Type something like, conduct a mock interview for this position. It'll start throwing you real questions one by one. You'll respond like you would in a live interview. After each answer, you can ask, how could I improve that? And it'll coach you through tweaks to make your answers sharper and more impactful. You can also request different types of questions, technical, behavioral, situational, depending on the style of this interview that you're preparing for. And if you really want to get battle ready, ask ChatGPT to role-play through interview personalities like a skeptical boss or a rapid-fire technical screener. It'll seriously boost your confidence before the real thing. Now, let's get creative, because ChatGPT is an absolute beast at creative writing and storytelling too. If you're working on a novel, a short story, a screenplay, or even just trying to get your imagination flowing, here's how you make that happen. Start by specifying the type of project, like I'm writing a fantasy novel for teens, or I'm working on a short film script for adults. Tell it the genre and your target audience. If you need help with characters, just say, help me create a character profile for a fearless explorer with a dark past. For plots, ask for story structure ideas like suggest 3 different plot structures for a sci-fi thriller. If you're stuck on a scene, describe the setting and ask for ideas to bring it to life. And if you're staring at a blank page and just feeling blocked, just share what little you have to say. Give me ideas for how to continue this. You can even paste sections of your draft and ask for feedback on pacing, dialogue, tension. The secret sauce here? Just keep prompting. Start small, get some feedback, tweak it, and build layer by layer until you've got something seriously polished. And if you're into music at all, get ready to nerd out, because ChatGPT can help you with music creation and theory too. You can use it whether you're a beginner just learning chords or a pro trying to break writer's block. Here's how. Start by specifying the musical style or vibe you're aiming for, like I'm writing a pop song in C major, or I need a moody jazz progression in D minor. And then you can ask for chord progressions, like suggest some catchy chord progressions for a pop song in G major. For melodies, describe the mood you're aiming for, like give me a happy, upbeat melody pattern. If you're stuck on theory, you can ask super specific questions, like explain what modal interchange is and when to use that. You can even ask ChatGPT to break down structures of your favorite songs, like analyze Someone Like You by Adele and explain why it hits so hard emotionally. If you're working on your skills, you can also have it create practice exercises tailored to whatever it is you're learning, like create drills to improve my improvisation and blues scales. And the best part, You'll actually understand why certain things sound good. So you're not just copying, you're learning how to create better music yourself. Now, if you ever feel overwhelmed managing bigger projects, this next one's going to change the game. Project Management Assistant. ChatGPT can actually help you plan and organize super complex projects, even if they have tons of moving parts and dependencies. Here's how you do it. First, describe your project in simple terms, like, I'm launching a new online course about personal finance, or I'm organizing a charity event with 10 vendors and 3 keynote speakers. Give it the big picture goal and any important details like time frame, available team members, or budget limits. Then ask it, break this project into manageable phases. And it'll start mapping everything out for you, like planning, execution, marketing, delivery, all the big steps you need. After that, you can say, create a timeline with milestones and deliverables. And boom, it will lay out checkpoints for you. Want to make it even tighter? Ask what potential risk could derail this project so you can plan ahead. If you're managing people or tools, ask, help me allocate resources across tasks. And for staying on track, you can ask it to design a simple tracking system. It'll even help you create spreadsheets or lightweight Gantt charts if you want a visual roadmap. It's seriously like having a personal project manager sitting next to you. Now, let's dive into another big one, advanced research assistants. Whether you're working on academic research, professional studies, or just doing some deep personal learning, ChatGPT can be your secret weapon. Start by clearly stating your research question or the main topic you're exploring, like the effects of remote work on urban housing markets. Tell it your field of study too, like economics, psychology, or computer science, and your academic level so it can match the depth you need. If you're stuck designing your methodology, ask, suggest research methods for studying this topic. For literature reviews, you can say, outline a structure for a literature review on this topic. If you've already gathered data and you're trying to figure out what to do with it, describe your data set and ask for analysis strategies. When it's time to structure your paper, just ask, create an outline for a research paper about X topic, and it'll spit out a full structure, intro, lit review, methodology, findings, discussion, conclusion. For citations, make sure you tell it your preferred style, like APA, MLA, or Chicago, and it'll format your references correctly. Bonus move, ask it to identify potential counter-arguments to your hypothesis so you can strengthen your arguments before someone else starts to poke holes in them. All right, now let's get into legal document analysis and creation, because ChatGPT can actually help you navigate basic legal stuff too. Here's how you use it properly. First, tell it what type of document you're working with, like a freelance contract, a simple lease agreement, or a non-disclosure agreement. Always mention your jurisdiction, like this needs to follow California law, or I'm based in the UK, because laws can change massively depending on where you are. If you're creating a document from scratch, describe the situation and what you need. ChatGPT can draft a rough version for you based on that. If you already have a document and you're trying to understand it, you can paste the text in and ask specific questions, like, what does this clause mean? Or is this a standard non-compete clause? It'll break down legal jargon into plain English you can actually understand. And just a reminder, always have any final documents reviewed by a real lawyer if they're important. ChatGPT is great for drafts and understanding, but it's not a licensed attorney. Speaking of smart planning, let's talk about financial planning and analysis. ChatGPT can seriously level up how you handle your money. To get started, give it the basics: your income, your expenses, your savings goals, or big life goals like buying a house or retiring early. Then you can ask it things like, create a monthly budget based on these numbers, and it'll map out a full plan for you, adjusting for your needs, wants, and savings. If you're looking at investments, describe your risk tolerance, like I'm cautious or I'm aggressive, and your timeline, and it can suggest strategies or explain options like stocks, bonds, ETFs. And if you're learning finance, you can ask for explanations of complex ideas like compound interest or index funds or retirement account differences. You can even run financial scenarios, like compare a 15-year mortgage versus a 30-year mortgage. Or what happens if I invest $500 a month with a 5% versus 7% annual return? Seeing a side-by-side comparison, it helps you make way smarter decisions without getting buried in the math. All right, let's wrap this up with one of the biggest power-ups inside ChatGPT, deep research. This isn't just about making ChatGPT remember your favorite writing style or your goals. It's about giving you a real advantage, especially when you need to find deep, real insights about market, an industry, a competitor, whatever it is that you're working on. Here's how to unlock it. Just click on the deep research button inside any ChatGPT conversation. No digging around in settings, it's right there. Once you turn it on, you can start feeding ChatGPT important context about yourself, like telling it you're building a new marketing agency and want research focused on B2B trends, or that you want examples from SaaS companies, or that you prefer short, actionable answers. The magic? The more info you give it, the better it can customize real research for you. No surface level stuff. Actual deep dives that are 10 times more relevant because it knows who you are, what you need, and where you're trying to go. And anytime you're unsure, just ask, what do you remember about me? You can update it, fine-tune it, or wipe it clean anytime you want. Bottom line, deep research turns ChatGPT into your personal market research assistant. Faster insights, sharper strategies, way less wasted time. Look, most people still get ChatGPT wrong. They treat it like it's just a fancy Q&A machine. You ask a question, it spits out an answer, and you move on. But that's not how you actually unlock the real magic. The biggest mistake, using lazy one-line prompts with zero context, like write me a blog post, or what's a good business idea? No details, no guidance, no real collaboration. And then they wonder why the output feels so basic. Here's the deal. ChatGPT works way better when you treat it like a teammate. You give it context, you give it a little direction, and most importantly, you don't stop after the first try. People who really win with this tool are the ones who treat it like a conversation, not a vending machine. You ask something, you get a rough draft, you tweak it, you clarify, you redirect, and with every round, it gets closer to exactly what you want. Another huge mistake is using ChatGPT in isolation. The real power shows up when you plug it into existing workflows, like using it to brainstorm ideas, then taking those ideas into a design tool, a spreadsheet, a CRM, whatever it is you're building. It's not about ChatGPT doing everything for you. It's about you letting it handle the heavy lifting so you can stay focused on the stuff that matters. And way too many people are still stuck thinking it's just a text-only tool. Meanwhile, the heavy hitters are out here using ChatGPT with images, voice, code, sometimes all three at once. That's where the next level stuff happens. When you start mixing formats, you stop thinking of it like a chatbot, and you start using it like an actual cognitive extension of yourself. After thousands of hours working with this thing, I can tell you we're barely scratching the surface of what's possible. The people who are going to win long-term, they're the ones showing up with curiosity and creativity, not settling for good enough, not stopping at basic functionality, always pushing a little bit further. Because the real value isn't in any one feature, it's how you stack them all together and extend what you're already capable of. ChatGPT isn't here to replace human creativity or intelligence. It's here to amplify it, to help you build things, solve problems, and create outcomes that would have been impossible on your own. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 25 features are you most excited to try out first? Or maybe you've uncovered a hidden ChatGPT trick that I didn't even mention. Drop it in the comments below. I'll read every single one, and let's learn from each other. Hey, if you found this video helpful, even a little bit, make sure you smash that subscribe button and join our growing crew of AI explorers. And a heads up, in the next few weeks, I'm going to be dropping a brand new video, 10 advanced ChatGPT prompts that will transform your business. You seriously don't want to miss it. Oh, and if you like this video, it would mean the world to me if you hit that like button. It helps more people find this kind of content, and it tells me you want more deep dive videos like this one. And if you want a shortcut to learning AI even faster, you can grab my full personal library of advanced ChatGPT prompts, the same ones I use every day. Just click the link in the description below. They're ready for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'm Jake Dawson, and remember, we're just getting started on what AI can really do. Oh, and before you click away, here's another video you'll probably want to watch next. It's packed with even more tips to help you crush it with automation. See you there.